All right, while they're getting ready, because they're better at this than I. Hi, folks. Hi. I'm Johnny Yong Bosch. Welcome, and Paul Yazaki is over there with a giant camera. No, welcome. So obviously, this panel probably had the longest paragraph about what this panel is about. Did you see that? They're like, villains panel, comedy panel, MNPR, because they don't have enough time to actually put Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, just use the letters. And then Johnny and I are like, War and Peace, by Johnny Yong Bosch and Jason Narvy. So what we're doing here today, obviously this is Johnny and my and Polo's panel. It's strange. You expect Johnny with the other meatheads, the other rangers, who do things like be heroes. But at the same time, Johnny and I and Polo have a long history of working together. And in the past few years, we have created a motion picture studio called Box Rocket Studios. Thunderous applause. And over the past few years, it started from something that was just to do things because we wanted to have things to give to the fans. And it kind of culminated last year with a full motion picture. Full-length motion picture that is still in post-production, that is this close to being done. And I keep telling Johnny, if he doesn't get it done, I'm going to beat Polo. I didn't know where you went. There you are. With that being said, we wanted to kind of share with you kind of the journey that the three of us have had as artists individually and together. And some of that stuff all starts with the things you know. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, right? Yeah. You've heard of that, right? Most people in this room have heard of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It was a thing back in the 90s that we tried to forget, like Bill Clinton. But with that being said, from there, our work kind of has gone through, and we wanted to share with you a few pieces. We were going to show you some of our teaser of our company. We're going to show you a couple teasers from some of the pieces we have done. We're going to show you guys a couple proof of concepts for Owlgirl, and we're going to show you the full-length Baku, which is something we just premiered this summer. It's a 23-minute film. It's a Western, high concept. We'll get to that in a minute. And you guys are going to be the first people to actually see anything from our forthcoming motion picture, Spades. Woo! So I know you guys got questions about Power Rangers and Bulk and Skull and how did Paul Schreier die? It was a horrible accident, folks. Very sad. Yeah, he's dead. To me. But that being said, I think though we're good to go, yeah, Polo?
Yes.
Oh, sweet. All right, so now we're going to start it the way we had wanted to start it to begin with. So pretend like you didn't hear any of that whatsoever, right? Sorry, y'all have aged me. All right, ready? Let's see if it goes. Four, three, two, one. There's no sound. There is absolutely no sound. We need to fix that. Let's go back to what we were talking about before. So Paul Schreier's various diseases. Gonosyphil herpal AIDS, it's the worst type. Slight narcissism, the worst type. Do we think we got sound? Yeah. Talk amongst yourselves. Get to know somebody. Turn behind you, pretend like you're in church. Sorry, wait, let me say it again. I know you guys. Pretend that you're Christians. Pretend like you have decency. And introduce yourself to the person behind you. I'll be right with you. used to be cool when I had these? Wait. When I was cool, I had these? Yeah. And now I have these, it's not quite as cool. So did you know that George Washington single-handedly stopped a counter-revolution by putting on a set of glasses? Did you know this? This is a true story. I'm throwing it down your throats whether you want it or not. So after the revolution, yes! We'll talk about George Washington some other time. All right, you heard none of that. One more time. Okay, so none of the soldiers got paid. None of them got paid. So they decided, no, we were going to go home. We were going to go home and be done with this whole soldiering revolution thing. But since we didn't get paid, let's go march on the Capitol and take it by force. And there was a big rebellion. And George Washington showed up. And he started to read something about why he shouldn't. Okay? Met him in a meeting house. Reading about why we have fought for democracy and why we should not suddenly turn into a tyrannical mob because the rest of humanity will forever be suspicious of democracy. But he read about 2 or 3 sentences about how much they have sacrificed to get to that point. You know, everyone had lost families, houses, a decade of their life. And as he's reading his statement, he suddenly stops. And he puts on his glasses to read. And at that moment, everybody realized this guy is now old. He was a young man. He was the action hero of his time, and now he's old, with one foot in his grave. Why? Because of this thing that we're just about to overturn and take by force. They laid down their arms and people were in tears. So, don't underestimate the power of putting on glasses. Welcome to Vox Rocket Studios, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Jason Narvy. I'm going to give you guys kind of an overview of what the hell we got going on here, okay? Obviously, you know me from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. You might know me from Masked Rider. You might know me from things that, let's not talk about that. It was we were drunk, it was fine. I don't know you. I don't know you, and I'm not going to pay for it, okay? And of course, Johnny, you know from anime. You know him from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. You know him from films, from his stunt work. From iShine! And you know Paul Yazaki from iShine as well. Well, now this is kind of interesting, and one of the things that we like to say is that in this day and age, you should only work with people that you like to work with. It's the truth. You are as good as your community, your posse, right? You're as good as your group, okay? Surround yourself with creative people, and you'll forever create, okay? Johnny and I started together on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. A couple years ago, I noticed something very interesting. I was redoing my reel, and whenever I would pick a comic scene, it was me and Paul Schreier. But anytime I would pull a serious scene, it was me and Johnny. Going all the way back to Power Rangers when they gave me the very first serious scene I ever had in Instrument of Destruction, when I was playing the piano. It was me and Johnny, okay? Good, you made it, dude. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Yong Bosch.
Thank you guys for being here. Oh man.
So I'll just tell them how we got our start. I was gonna pivot over to Extreme Heist.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
I'll pick up. I'm not sure what you showed.
We showed the trailer. It took us a while to get it up and running with it. We showed just the Vox Rocket trailer. Polo killed it.
All right.
Okay. So we ended up after Johnny had finished with Power Rangers. I was on my last season. Koichi Sakamoto approached us and asked if we wanted to do an action movie highlighting the Alpha stunt team. Basically, the guys on Rangers when it's not one of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing stunt artists, and it was going to be a stunt reel. We did a film that was originally called
Wicked Game.
Wicked Game, and it turned out to be called Extreme Heist. Okay. And then we played a couple of bad guys, Guile Lydon and Billy Ray.
Yeah.
What was your last name? Cyrus.
It was.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing actually is that
Billy Ray Lee or something.
Something like that, yeah. And the funny thing is, Johnny and I used to make our own films on the side, like screwing around, you know, with little video cameras, because video was new. Ooh, exciting. We used to go out to the desert and shoot guns and then shoot each other with footage. Not with guns, with footage. Footage of us shooting the guns. We did an action. I directed an action film that I never finished, Otto der Essel. I really should.
That's right.
I really should finish that one.
Yeah.
With that being said, so we did Extreme Heist. And that was 20 years ago.
A long time ago.
More than that, yeah. Okay. But that was really the first feature we had done together. Okay.
But it wasn't in our hands, though.
It was not. It was completely Koichi Sakamoto.
Like, have you talked about it at all Vox Rocket and any of that yet?
No, I was getting up to that.
Okay.
Yeah. That's so you might be able to tell that part better. Okay. We'll fast forward.
Better. Let's fast forward. Because we might run out of time. And I just got the suit, man. It was my breath the whole time. I breathed a couple times and then stuff was falling off. I took a breath and I was like, whoop, there goes the belt. So yeah, we're gonna have to fix that up. So Vox Rocket Studio, don't touch it. He can't touch things, man. He can't touch things, man. He's Polo. Hold on. Oh my gosh. All right. That's what our productions are like. Okay, so let's see. Gosh, where should we actually start? Well, Arc Exodus was actually the first.
That was the first one. And
so
what I told him was that we wanted to do a project to get back to the fans.
All right. Well, we should let me step backwards a little bit in time to navigate this. So carefully. But so I was involved I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Otakon. It's like an anime, big, huge anime con. And they were doing this Kickstarter, and they cast me and Christina V to be the leads in this game that they were doing, in this Kickstarter, and they raised, I can't remember if it was 13 or 30,000 to start to do this game. And then the guy took off with the money, right? And it was like, oh wow, that was my first experience with a Kickstarter. And then many years later, and this is all stuff that I promoted to my fans, and they gave to that, and then nothing came of that game, so I was frustrated with that. And then, there was The Order. That was another project that was put together, which I really thought was a neat idea. That fell through. And then I was also attached to Legend of the White Dragon originally, so in the original, but we didn't meet our goal on that. And then after that, and so I had felt those three things I had promoted to my fans, and they did not happen. And so I was kind of frustrated, and I thought, you know what? I think we should just do our own thing. Just pay my own money, and then if people would watch it, great. If not, whatever. So the original project was called Boom Click Boom, actually. And so it was an action movie. Jason Frank was attached to it, Narvy as well, myself, and so it was going to be the three of us. It was a script that I wrote many years ago. And then, like many other things do, we started planning this thing, and it took about a year to really kind of prep this thing up. And then just a week before shooting, things kind of fell apart. Jason couldn't do it any longer. And so the problem was I had already spent so much money setting this thing up. And so I had so much money was put already down in this thing, and I had to figure out, what am I going to do? I already paid for locations and wardrobe and actors and flights and all this other stuff. And now I can't shoot this movie anymore because Jason can't do it. And so I can't, like, who am I going to find? And so instead, I took a week to start writing a whole new story. And then I ended up coming with a new story. And then Kyle Higgins actually, this was around Christmas, and he was like wishing me Merry Christmas. And then I was kind of telling him my situation. He was like, well, let me know what the idea is. And if you know Kyle Higgins, he's the one who kind of did the Power Ranger comics, you know. And, right, so he kind of bailed me out and helped me with the script and made it more sci-fi. And so we had like 1 week to get this thing done. And even then, the script wasn't complete, and as we were shooting this thing, because Narvy was in Texas when we were shooting, it was like 30 days basically. We shot, well, we had less days, but within 30 days. And so we had to shoot this thing. And it's a 40-minute short film that it was just like, you know what, you guys can watch it. You don't have to pay for it, you can just go watch it. You know, I'm tired of the crowdfunding thing, and I don't want to do them ever again. You know, and so, yeah, I just basically just paid for this thing. It's a 40-minute short. We're going to show the trailer we're going to show one of the trailers, and go for it. Here it is. You touched something. I saw you touch something right at the end. Oh my God. I saw you do this, like you were trying to be a good laptop, and then it decided to take a dump.
My laptop and I have been going through a breakup for a while. It's been very painful on the family.
Hold on, what'd you do? You gotta fix it now. Again.
I was sitting in the seat temporarily. It's a good computer. We have a lot in common.
All right. So, where? So the HDMI is wonky then. Is it plugged in all the way or no? Well, we may not be able to show you guys anything. What happens if you unplug it from the TV? Does it still play on is it the laptop's frozen? Well, hang on then. Let's, yeah. Okay, well, let me talk more then. Okay, so then anyways, we shot this film that you will not get to see any of the trailer for. At some point. We were hoping to show some shorts and stuff. All right. So, anyways, Arc Exodus was our first time to do something, and really kind of throw it. It was literally thrown together, though, you know. But it came together well. We did win awards on it, actually, in the end.
The interesting thing about this is kind of a game changer. Okay, is that we did so well with it. We ended up winning an award, and it was back then it was still COVID, and so there was a film festival that we submitted to called the Urban Action Film Festival. We submitted it, and it was an online film festival. They didn't have it in person. And as we were going through the film festival, Johnny couldn't make it that night. He said, "Narv, can you represent us?" I said, "Yeah, it's a stupid film festival, not a big deal." And I was looking as we were watching the festival. They show who is winning what particular, what do you call it, events.
Category.
Best actor categories and all that stuff. We were winning nothing. I'm sitting back watching everyone else's film. That's great. And we get to the very last thing, and we are the very last name. It's called the Warner Award. We're like, okay, that's great. And then they bring me on the screen. They tell me I won. So I talk to the rest of the people on the screen like, "Wow, you guys won the Warner Award." I'm like, "Good for us." Because I haven't been paying attention. I've been on the computer. It turns out it was an
Yeah, and we were talking to some guys that were going to pitch it, and so we took our 40-minute short, and I mean, we spent
like 6
yeah,
months.
just working on this thing, and we wrote 3 seasons of this thing, so it's ready to go if anybody's ready to bite down on it. But
what it taught us was that actually it's easier to sell film than a series.
Well, that was the issue we ran into because the guys that came to us, they were taking it and they were supposed to move with it, right? And they're the ones that were telling us we're going to pitch it as a series, but we've never done series before. This is going to be a first time trying to pitch it, and it felt like they didn't land anywhere, you know. So I don't know if they didn't know how to do it or if they kept hitting some kind of walls. But then they were like, it's because it's a 40-minute short, it's hard to sell. And so we ended up doing, okay, we're going to show it now. I think. Narvy, don't touch. Did it play? Did it play through? Okay, good. Okay. So you can actually watch that film right now if you go to Vox Rocket Studio. We have that film. We have a couple more that you can check out. We were planning on maybe playing one today, but let's see. What else can we show you?
We have we have
Owlgirl. Okay, so we'll talk about Owlgirl.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean,
So
how do we get into that? That was
okay. So as we were starting to ship around, we realized we can't keep paper out of Johnny's back pocket. We happen to know some people, one in particular, Mike Federale, who is a wonderful writer and comic book creator. And he had 2 properties that he believed.
He actually had a lot.
He had a lot.
He sent me a bunch, and I was like, I like these 2. Yeah. So he did have 2 properties. One was like a superhero, a female superhero called Owlgirl, and it was fun. It was light, and for me, it felt like it could fit. Like if you're watching Power Rangers, it would come on right after or right before. You know, it kind of would fit in that genre or that area. And so that seemed like a fun thing to do. And so I wrote a proof of concept. So it's just like, all right, well, maybe we'll shoot like this idea of just so, because he wanted to see what they would look like as a live action, like a couple of his comics. So we took that one and we shot that as a proof of concept. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
We're gonna. What a proof of concept is? Yeah, for those of you who know, a proof of concept is basically, it's just that. You have a concept, a character, a basic story that you're like, I think this really has wings. I'm not going to throw $600 million behind it yet. Let's see what it looks like in 3D. You know, Owlgirl being one of them. If you're taking something that is a comic book or a graphic novel, you want to prove that that concept will work in a motion picture format. Yes? That's what we're talking about. Okay? So Owlgirl's the first one. Should we go right to it?
I think we should just go right to the proof of concept. Yeah. So this is the actual Owlgirl proof of concept pitch that we put together.
6 months ago, my parents and I were the Parliament House. The protectors just got me sick. After the attack, I thought the elves were done forever. Then I met you, Lena Lopez. But are you ready? Can you be the
So that's Owl Girl.
So, hey, can you guys even hear it in the back? You can? Yeah, I wish they would have put us in the other room with speakers, but. Where's it? Yeah, is that where the sound's coming out? Right underneath that?
As we're looking at this stuff, so one of the things that you'll notice is it kind of walks around the style. I feel like only heavy on stunts, high concept, sci-fi superhero. We never have a great stunt team. Okay, thank you very much. And stand up, ladies and gentlemen. Every part of our studios, we are a stunt team that we've been working with. We knew we brought them on for Arc Exodus. Thank God we did. They were great. They were a lifesaver. In Arc Exodus, if you see the whole thing, and it's available online, you'll see 100 bad guys. Really, it's about 6 guys from Common Wrong that kept switching around masks, okay? But filming.
Ourselves included.
Ourselves included, yeah. It's right. Several times, I'm like, wait a minute. Is that Johnny hitting himself on the reverse shot? Yeah, Johnny hitting himself up. With that being said, it's a very special thing to be able to direct action. Johnny can figure out. You'll know Johnny's director when you see him do this. Okay, you're like, what? So I don't know how you write that down, but he's got it in his head, okay? But of course you need to be able to move the camera accurately and appropriately. You need the right frame rate to get it. Like that great shot of Amanda, our owl girl, who if she didn't get it in the first take, she'd be pissed. And would get it in subsequent takes. So to be able to follow that along with the appropriate camera angle, not a lot of directors can do, not a lot of teams get.
Well, one of the things that you have to realize is when you do, because all of our stuff is lower budget, it's not like high at all. It's extremely low. So you have to have not only stunt people that can do the stuff, but your actors have to be ready to go. And if your actors are doing action, they have to be able to do that action as well, because you only have a certain amount of time, and you'll run out of time if obviously if the person isn't well trained or isn't able to do the things that they need to do. I'm kind of concerned, I don't want to play like a 24-minute short if the sound might not reach well enough. We do have another short called The Baku. I think what we'll do instead is maybe we'll play the teaser, and then it's a really fun. Let me just talk about it a little bit. So it's basically a Western. I love Westerns, so I don't know if you guys like Westerns, but I love Westerns. I especially love spaghetti Westerns, but I also like, I like ghost stories and things like that too. So this was kind of a neat little, I got to be able to write something around that, So it's based off a comic. There's only a first issue, so you can actually find the first issue somewhere online called The Baku, and you can kind of see more of I guess it's kind of not really origin, but it shows him when he was younger, but it doesn't. But anyways, ours I just took it's a day in his life kind of a moment, where basically this guy travels the Wild West, consuming demons, hunting demons, basically eating demons, and
And again, so what we had shot was really kind of episode 1. That's why it's a 25-minute proof of concept. This is also a place where whoever created a property, in this case the Baku, in some ways they need to be able to let go and fall into the hands of someone who's going to take it into the medium. Okay, Donnie wanted to particularly see what the Baku would do, see how far he could push the character and tell an entire story in just 25 minutes. Not just an episode, but you really did tell an entire story. So you really had to move it around in ways that the original creator had not envisioned. And part of the proof of concept in this case is we had to sell the creator on our vision of what the Baku was. And he didn't want to go with it.
Yeah, in the beginning, he we sat on this one for a long time, because it felt like originally he wanted to see it, and then he just, after Owlgirl, he was fine with Owlgirl, and didn't seem as interested. And then somewhere down the line, he was like, all right, well, I guess I need to see it because somebody's asking about it, They're asking about his comic. And so he's like, well, maybe, he was like telling them, well, I've got a live action too. And then it was like, well, I guess we better finish it. What do you have queued up? Is it the teaser?
It's just the teaser.
All right. Let's do the teaser yeah. So here's the teaser trailer for the Baku.
You look like somebody walked across your grave.
Saw something. Your recent encounter. What did you say that was again?
That actually seemed loud enough. I don't know what happened. Volkswagen! Don't worry, if it's broken, we'll fix it. I guess we could show it. Well, we'll circle back. Let's talk about some of the other stuff, and then we'll watch that, and then we'll go into. All right, so we shot that. We'll show you that one. We'll kind of end with that one. So we shot those two proof of concepts. We shot Arc Exodus, and because Arc Exodus was a 40-minute short, the guys that were trying to get that out for us, they were like, oh, we can't sell it. If it was a movie, they kept saying that to me. If it was a movie, maybe we could sell it. If it was a movie, and I was like, well, what if I shot a movie and gave you a movie? And they were like, all right, well, let me talk to the guys in London or whatever. And then they did that, and they were like, yeah, okay, that should be fine. That should work. And so I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm just gonna spend some money and make a movie. So we made a movie, and the film is called Spades. And let me see what we got in here first off. I think we'll play the trailer first. I don't want to really spoil the story too much. Yeah, the official trailer we could play. So Spades, we've actually so it's a 2-hour movie. I might be cutting a little bit more out of it, but not much. Right now, the way it's like an indie art house action film. It's a lot of fun actually. We had a lot of fun working on this one. And this was actually, no, you know what? Can we cue up Boom Click Boom, that thing we shot first? So originally the script was called Boom Click Boom. I think we changed it for a little bit to Click Boom because Jason Frank couldn't say the title. And so we changed it to Click Boom. But when Jason wasn't able to do the project anymore, we ended up changing the name eventually and changing the story. No, not that one. Don't show that. Boom Click Boom. Hi. So Polo and I knew that this was it was like I'm trying to see how not to ruin it and spoil it. Well, I guess it's like a vigilante story. And so we wanted to see what the character would look like right. And so Hunt's a vigilante. And then so it was gonna be dark. So we needed to see if we could shoot something dark. Because low budget, it's hard. You can't have a ton of lights. So how are we going to navigate that? Shooting. Yeah, you can't. There's so much because we still want it to look like a film. So we did a test shoot in my garage, and we're going to show you that. This is our first screen test, and so it's like a cheap version of it. So that was our test shoot because I just wanted to see what would it feel like. And then after I did that, I was like, no, I can kind of see it. I can see it now, you know? And then I ended up reworking the script a lot and changed it up quite a bit. And then now we could probably show the Spades official trailer. We finally finished shooting. We're currently still doing the visual effects, and then we're still doing post-production stuff. But the film is edited, and that part's all done. So we're gonna show you the trailer, and then we're gonna, I guess we can go into some of the clips, you know, and then, yeah, so you can get even more sneak peeky. All right, so here's the official trailer.
Teresa schedule interviews with girls seeking jobs, slip him a Mickey. We list them for sale,
Such a pretty girl.
and we deliver them
For some high price.
to the highest bidder.
Good. Detective James Bishop wore the mask the whole time.
Yes, but he did save me.
He is an answer to prayers. God's justice.
All right. So we got out of the garage. Yeah, right. We stole the car. Yeah, so we ended up shooting an actual movie. So and it's a lot of fun. It was super cool to work on. So would you guys like? Do you guys have any questions actually for us? Yeah. We have plenty of clips. Yeah, all right. Do you guys? Yeah. What's your question?
So in general, for these like real shorts, like what's the cost per budget?
What was the cost of the budget?
Yeah, for most of these like shorts.
Well, we're not talking about that yet because we still want to sell it for the most it could possibly get. And
We did tell, look,
our yeah.
we told some reasonable actor how much we did it for. He didn't believe us. You know, we're like, we did it for this much. He's like, no, really? That much?
Yeah.
He thought it was.
How much do you think what does it look like?
Short films that I do, they're like $1,200 and they're like 10 minutes. They're little passion projects, and that feels like a ton of money for me, but I have no clue.
All right.
I don't know much about it.
It's like a nice car. If you bought a nice car. Yeah, but we got to set those up. Well, because I don't want to spoil the story. But I want you to see a little bit more. Yeah, what's your question? What was that? We shot in LA, which is expensive. Like, you will lose your budget if you're not planning right. You'll lose your budget in location and permits and insurance. You know, the actors, whatever, they'll just show up. You know, I mean, I paid everybody fine. You got paid, right? I didn't get paid a thing. But no, but it was. I mean, it's super fun. It's fun to like, you know, like to have an idea and then to write it down and then to bring a group of people together and then be like, all right, well, let's see what you're gonna do to this character, and watch like Narvy breathe life into the character, and watch my actors breathe life into it, and get like an awesome stunt team together to throw together some great action. And you know, I mean, it was fun. It was super fun. And so I am proud of it. I obviously I wish I had more money, you know, because it would have been much smoother to shoot. It was one of those things where it's like you got a certain amount of time, you got to get out of this location, you know, otherwise you're paying like twice as much in LA. It's pretty expensive, but we did all right. I think our budget is pretty good.
And you can be cheaper, but I will say this to Johnny's credit, like he really wanted it to have a good look and feel. He wanted texture to his film, you know. And we even saw that in the trailer. It dirty 1970s action movie.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I want it to look like I don't want it to look like a TV movie where everything's like lit really bright or something like that. I want it to feel kind of gritty, you know, because I don't want to fake the budget. We can't fake the budget, but if you can make it at least look and feel like what it's supposed to be, then you know it'll be awesome. What do you got queued up right here? No, that's too long. That might be too long. That I feel like that might give away too much. Does it not? Okay, you guys want to just see like the open couple minutes or something?
This is pretty cool. Like this is the first time anyone's ever.
You guys are not. I'm nervous. That's why I don't want to show you. I don't want to show you guys.
Remember, this is not the final print. Close the doors so the outside world does not see it. I'm not messing with you.
Can we close it? Actually, can we?
Close the doors. No, wait, only you guys in this
Is it
room
possible?
are seeing it.
Yeah.
Put your cell phones away. This never happened.
Yeah.
Okay, look at Polo. Set a bad example. All right, you guys ready?
All right. So this is just. So this is where, like, I think you'll get the sense of it. You know, as far as like, not the sense, but like the pace. It is like I said, like an indie art house action film. So it is. I'm just gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna let it go. You guys just watch.
Raise keep so low couture. JNT.
Alright. Pick a card. Any card.
How about this one?
Nope.
Okay, thank you.
Let me fan them out.
All right, fan
don't
them out.
worry. Alright, I'm gonna fan them out.
Okay.
Alright, pick a card. Any card. Take that one.
Okay.
Good trick, right? Alright, so you put it back in the deck?
Okay.
Wait, am I supposed to show you?
It doesn't matter.
Don't matter?
Yeah. Actually, it's probably better if you didn't show me.
Anywhere?
Anywhere in the deck? Anywhere in the deck. I shuffle them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a trick. Okay, it's okay.
It's a good trick.
It's a trick.
It's not a good trick.
Oh, that was good. You didn't need his touch on that one.
Did you? You just made it up.
I did.
Really?
All right, you want me to do it?
That's all you get. No. That's all I could bounce. It was late last night. I was like, I had to bounce out something, and it was like the last thing I needed to bounce, and I was like, I can't. It takes so long to bounce the files, but I was like, that might be enough to kind of you get a feel of the pace of things, enough to maybe want to watch more. I don't know. Yeah, what did you guys think? Okay, so then I guess, do you guys have any questions before we move on? Yeah, go ahead. Baku? We're going to show Baku. How much time do we have?
We got an hour and 10.
All right, we'll show Baku for you here tonight, yeah, today. Soon. We're going to show you more Spades. Spades is our big feature that we're going to be releasing here. Hopefully, we'll have it all ready to go by the end of the year. So if you go to VoxRocketStudios.com, then you'll be able to watch Owlgirl, Arc Exodus, and the Baku on there as well, like if you want to put the headphones on and get a better sense of it. Spades will be coming. Okay, yeah, so essentially, I guess it could have let that play a little bit longer, huh? Because it shows that Narvy is playing a detective. All right, so it's many years later, he's playing a detective, and
the alley is the reveal, right?
Alley is the reveal. The alley? Yeah. Okay, all right, so it's so weird to talk like this, and not spoil it. All right, so he's a detective, and there is a vigilante that's been going around and, taking out the bad guys and leaving behind these Spades cards. Okay, that's where the name Spades come from. Also, I forgot to, Paulie, did you bring those posters? Okay. We have posters for you for Spades that we'll give you guys before we take off. And we do have a comic. We have 2 issues of a comic coming as well for Spades, because we figured, why not, right? All right, so anyways, what's happening here in this scene is our detective has just caught a criminal, and this is the first time that he sees the vigilante. Are you sure he should touch this? That's it. You don't want to give too much away, man. It's gonna be too much. All right, so we'll queue up another one. That was pretty short. That's not fair. Let's do the hallway fight, man. Oh no. Let's get Spades gets a car. Okay, so this is right. No, he just rescued a girl, and this is after that. They're so short now. They're just a little bit. It's just giving you guys a little bit, a taste. Yeah, Spades gets a sandwich. Let's do. Should we do? We can do Bishop and Lana. So this is an actual scene where, I'll let it speak for itself, I guess. All right. Hey.
Dad?
Anna. Hi.
What are you doing here?
I just came by to return your spare key.
since Mom died.
It's real nice. Hey, that a new sofa? Just got a new sofa.
Does it look like a new sofa? I literally found it in the trash, Dad. And this place is not nice, Dad. It looks like Jeffrey Dahmer was my interior decorator. It sucks. I need a coffee.
Okay, all right. I thought it was an hour ago. So as you can see, it's also a very character-driven kind of film. So it's not just action, or cars, weird, mysterious masked guy. No, there's a lot of story to it. It was a lot of fun to write. How many of you guys have kids that are teenagers and kind of know what that feels like? No, it was you. You were her. All right, so yeah, so I guess we'll show another clip. We'll show what is that? The hallway fight. All right. Yeah, okay. We'll show a hallway fight. It's not a lot. It's again. I'm sorry. It's just a tease. That's it, man. That's it. I did let it play through, but then the problem is it reveals something that I can't let you guys see yet. It reveals a secret. Yeah, like the films, like we like. I like high concept. I like fooling the audience a little bit. And so, yeah, I don't want to reveal everything. Let's see. So we do have Baku, and we do have. You know what? I actually threw in something that's totally random. Is like this animation that I was working on. If we still had a lot of time, we could show that. But we could do Baku, but we could also. Can we pass out those posters? We can. You guys can take one of these posters if you want, and. Pass them around to everyone. And then if you guys want to come by the table, we'll be happy to sign those for you for free. We won't charge you to sign the Spades poster. So if you want to come get a Spades poster signed by the three of us are in it. we're not just the production team. And then I guess Andrew's here too, so he can sign some of them too. You can. Yeah, what's your question? Yeah.
Watch it, it'll speak for itself. But the Demon Eater in this
Yeah, so the idea comes from like eating nightmares and things like that, and so Mike Federale pulled that for the title character. Yeah. Spades. Yeah, yeah. I don't know how much it'll make. To be honest, it'd be great if it made money, but I just want people to enjoy it. You know what I mean? I want people to really enjoy it. That's all I really care about. Yes. Yeah, that's the evolution of being on Power Rangers. When you see the Spades, you are probably going to be like, oh, that's like that anime, or that feels like this anime. There's definitely influence, like basically everything that I worked on, and all the things that I really like. I wanted to have something that, first off, was our own IP, something that's ours, that's original, but had the feel or the flavor of some of the anime that I like to work on, you know, and also just the genres I like to watch, you know. So it's certainly influenced by all sorts of things like that. And I don't want to say any specific ones, because then you'll probably start picking up on it, and it'll be maybe too obvious. But yeah, that's a great question, actually. Yes. I did a lot of stunts on that. That was when they did that specific one. That was not me. That was that wasn't Tadahiro. Tetsuo. Tetsuo did that one. This guy, it was a 60-foot fall that he did into a mat. And then what they did was then they filmed. The camera was locked off, and they had the truck slide in, and then take off. And then they added the bump, and then they just in post they did a little bit of visual effects on that. Yeah. It was insane. Yeah. I did do a lot of stunts on that one, though. I cracked a rib in that. I did a car hit on that. I almost got run over in that. But that one was, there's a lot in that one. I actually wrote a sequel for it. Yeah, I wrote a sequel for it called Joker's Wild. I did. Yeah, it's one of the first ones I wrote. It was like after that. Yeah, but then it was just like something that, you know. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. But I started thinking of a Power Ranger thing. Oh yeah. A Power Ranger. I think I got a good concept, because everybody keeps on saying, I want to do a dark Power Rangers, the Dark Man. I'm like, I got a better idea. I'll tell you later, and maybe we'll pitch it to these guys and see if you guys want to watch it. Yeah, we shot Baku in Montana, and so there were no actors there.
legitimate cowboys.
We had actually just like cowboys and people that are around horses and stuff. So so that was interesting. And there's not like, something's wrong with your gear, you can just run to the store and get something else. No, there's like, you bring all your gear and you got to be ready to go. So it was interesting, but we found this ghost town in Bannock in Montana that they were super cool. They had let other productions be there before, so there were certain things that they wouldn't let happen, like a drone and things like that. But then when we were filming, they warmed up to us. They're like, "Oh, you guys know what you're doing, okay?" And then they let us fly the drone, which was awesome because it was something I really needed. And so I guess we could show Baku. We'll show you guys Baku. It is a Western, so the pace of a Western is a little bit different, but hopefully you'll dig it, and then we'll wrap up with some questions and talk more, I guess. Here's the Baku. No, never mind. It starts off black and then it goes. Any other questions? Yes. Motion capture. I don't know that necessarily motion capture helps me in my directing. I don't know. I mean, I certainly. No, it didn't. I can only say that it helped me more in my imagination because you have to really imagine what things are like. But not as far as directing. Directing really was just like by doing it, and doing it over and over again and figuring out, how to shoot, and how to tell a story. And then working with other actors and working with actors and kind of seeing what they bring to the table. There's many different ways to direct somebody. You can write a script and let them play, or you can kind of like guide them into a certain space. So every actor is a little bit different, And some people, they come way prepared. And some people, you can just throw them curveballs and see what they do, and they do some really interesting things. Others, you kind of need to guide them back into the script, you know what I mean? So it just depends. Yeah. Montana was, I don't know if you've ever been to Montana, but it's really pretty. It's just like you start driving around and it's like, this is a weird thing to say, but when I was younger and I would watch Smurfs, I was always looking in the background. Like the Smurfs were here doing stuff and there's like the background, like forest and woods and mountains and trees. I was always looking at those and thinking like, I wonder what's happening over there. And when I was in Montana, I felt like I was looking at, this is Smurf land or something.
Shot is kind of under the opening, the closing credits where the Baku walks off into the sunset, because we caught the sunset through like several layers of mountains across the prairie. Dude, like that is production value.
Yeah, the thing when you do a Western is you really are looking at the landscape. You're looking at like, how can I make this feel like that? It can't have like buildings or anything else, and Montana was perfect.
By definition of Western.
It's a character,
It's a character, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Should we give it a shot?
All right. That's the sunset shot. That's him walking off into the sunset. Look at that landscape, you guys. Well, I did get a close-up of the butt earlier, so. What's that? Yeah. Yeah, so that's our the Baku episode. I would like to see like a bunch of episodes where he's like crazier, the things that he faces and the people that he helps or whatever, it could be, yeah.
Nobody likes the Baku, but he actually does do a service, not just fighting with demons. He helps people cross over to the other side, which wouldn't that be nice if we all had somebody like that? Right?
Well, do you guys have any questions? Yeah, go for it. The pocket watch, where'd you get it?
Where'd I buy it or where'd the Baku get it?
Oh.
It belonged
Yeah.
Snapped it from him. That's why after he swallowed it, he saw the watch. He felt it was his duty to bring it to the man's grave. Allow him to rest.
Yeah, well, if you're paying attention, there's the moment the cowboy is at night, he looks at his pocket watch, and then he's in the bar, he tries to look at it, and it's missing. So yeah, it's kind of in there, but yeah. Good question. Yes? It is sad, though.
Yeah, death can be sad. I don't know if you knew that.
I don't know.
But yeah. I mean, it's melancholic.
No, I did. I played with the colors a bit, and actually, that is what we captured in Montana. Like, yeah. So I did take the blue out at one point, but it felt too much like a regular Western, you know. And I wanted it to feel different, you know. Yeah. And it's based on a comic, so I felt like it could have a different tone to it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Where'd you come up with the studio name?
That's a good question. Where did you come up with the studio name?
Oh, that is a good question. Well, because I do voiceover, Fox. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where Rocket came from. I think I just needed something that sounded like go or yeah. So
Fox Greenlight.
Yeah, and I also wanted to feel like I don't know, like there's some kind of action, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Back there.
Yeah. Well, this is the character is. So there is one comic that kind of it's the character. It's him when he was younger, and then it shows him in a town dealing with a ghost or whatever, and it kind of sets up his story. It's like and I mean, I guess it's not really origin because it doesn't really explain.
Yeah, no, it just explains that.
It just shows like it's an earlier.
That he doesn't belong. Like
Right.
he's not from the town.
And that he has the black eyes and stuff. So I needed to pick like, okay, well, what could happen within his story, So it's because he only did one issue. It's really just.
He did a couple others, but I don't think he ever got.
No, he did. Well, he did one issue. The Baku, which you actually can find online.
Yeah,
now,
Amazon,
and he did some other like snippets, where he helps a spirit pass on or whatever, So he's done some other, but those haven't been released. And so this is just kind of like taking like the concept of the Baku and like, oh, what would it be like if he's whatever, just wanders into a town and this is what he's doing, So there's so many things you could do with the character.
It's a great character. We were salivating to do something with it for the longest time.
Yeah, I mean, you can take it all over the place. It was really a lot of fun. And again, I really like Westerns, especially spaghetti Westerns, so I wanted to.
There's a lot of, Morricone in there and a lot of Sergio Leone. And, I mean, the whole watch thing, I mean, you got that. I mean, it's got a little bit of an echo to for a few dollars more.
Yeah,
the watch played a prominent role in that film.
Yeah, and in fact, when I was editing it, I had it all. I was cutting to.
Oh, that's right.
Sir,
Morricone.
Morricone's stuff, yeah, his music.
Cool. Right there. Yes, you. Yes, you, sir. What are some of your favorite Westerns?
For a few dollars more is definitely.
Yeah.
For a few dollars more, I love spaghetti Westerns.
Yeah.
Good, bad,
Well, there's
ugly.
moments of all of them. I mean, have you
Unforgiven,
ever seen,
I really like.
Unforgiven was great.
Shane is
Tombstone
another
has
one.
got some great
Tombstone
things.
is another one. Yeah.
What do you call it? John Wayne in.
Searchers.
Oh my God. Yeah. And if you see those movies on the big screen, it's a different experience. These long moments. Even Once Upon a Time in the West, they played it. One of the cinemas downtown, I think it was at Man's Chinese. And they played it, and like those long moments in extreme close-up where you're just watching guys kind of look at each other and sweat on a small screen. It's meh.
There's
you
like
watch
a
on the
fly.
big screen.
Yeah. Yes.
How long did it take to shoot the whole thing?
How long did it take us to shoot? I mean, principal photography was like 4 days.
We were in Montana for, how long were we? Was it 1 week?
We were there for a week.
We were there for a week.
So
we shot 4 days. But didn't we do an extra day, like when we were leaving?
When we were leaving.
When we were leaving to go to the airport, we
we
went and we were like just driving around because we had extra time. And then we saw the woods. And I was like, wait, where's the wardrobe? And I was like, hey, get the camera. I want to do a chase sequence.
So we just took off my pants by the side of the road.
Yeah.
And for once, I had a reason to do it. But then we came back to LA, and we actually did that cave stuff was actually here in LA.
It was in LA, yeah, a couple days there. I was going to shoot the chase sequence in LA, but when I saw the woods, I was like, oh, these woods look better. Yeah. Okay, here's the thing. There's always something. But here's one. Here's a perfect example. So on a production, you never know what's going to happen. And so one day we were shooting our the spades, and we're shooting like some of the war sequence. There's like some war stuff that happens. And so we were shooting some of that, and then we were also going to use that, like there's a location that's right there that we were going to have like this other character come in, and then it was like a completely separate scene. And so we had finished we were shooting that stuff, and then one of the actors who was supposed to be in the second scene shows up, and I'm like, oh, hey, yeah, we're just finishing up this sequence over here. Once we're done, we're going to move on to your sequence. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to hang out here. And then he goes, and he goes to hang out at base camp or whatever, and I continue shooting, and we wrap up the sequence we're doing, and then we're going, and I'm like, all right, we're going to move on to the next scene. And then we start setting up, and then we're looking for our actor. We're like, where is he? And then they're like, well, he said he was going to craft service, but then we never saw him. And we're like, wait a minute. And then we went to go look for his car, and his car was gone. And somebody's like, oh, yeah, he took off. And I was like, wait, he took off? Like, he just left? Like, he didn't say anything? He didn't
thought
tell
it was going to be a
anybody.
snuff film or something. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows what he thought. He didn't say anything to anyone.
Disappeared.
He just vanished. And so, like, that kills our day, right? It's like we have a whole sequence that we paid for that location to be there. So thousands of dollars are going to be flushed down the toilet because you have to pay no matter what. You're there. Yeah. And so it was like, oh, great. We don't have anyone. And because we were shooting the war stuff, we had stunt guys there as well. So Andrew was there, helping running camera. I was like, Andrew, guess what? You're going to be acting in this movie. And it's like, can you act? And then he was like, oh, okay. And then so we had to like switch him up, give him the dialogue, and then we ended up having to throw him in this spot, thankfully, and he did a good job.
He did really well. He learned all the lines and everything.
All the lines,
well done.
Yeah, it was tricky though, because then you had a sequence with our main villain in the movie that he has to act against, who is like a crazy actor, but Nobu. But it was interesting. But stuff like that does happen. Even on the very first thing that I ever shot, there's a lead actress was supposed to be in it, and the very first day she doesn't show up, and it's like, oh great, and then she never showed up. She never responded. This guy actually, I ended up like. I forgot, he was in our email list, and so when I sent out the trailer, it just went out to everyone, and then he responded back. He's like, oh wow, that looks amazing. And I was like, who's this guy? And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, what happened to you, man? And he was like, oh yeah, I had an emergency. And I was
like, the actor?
Yeah. And I was
he contacted you?
And I was like, you couldn't tell somebody? He was like, oh yeah, it was like so sudden. I'm like, whatever, dude.
Oh dude.
Yeah.
I think it's because we were out filming in the desert, and he's like, oh, this is too hot.
No, here's the thing, it looks like when you show up, because our budget, we don't have like a massive crew. Yeah. We don't have like, all these things, and so it feels like, oh, this is just going to be some terrible thing. Right. It's not going to look like a movie. It's going to be some college, like whatever.
What he was thinking. But we did have craft services. We did have base camp. We actually had more than most low budget. I'm getting mad at the guy. Never mind.
He bailed on us, but whatever,
Paid well. That brother was getting paid well.
That's the thing. Yeah, everybody gets paid on my stuff, so except for me.
Except for you. You lose your shirt.
Yet.
Any other questions?
Yeah. What superhero movies do we favor? I like The Crow. I like Blade.
Still be the spit
Batman. I used to. I was dressed up as the Crow for Halloween once.
Right,
Yeah.
you look great. I got a great picture of you.
Actually, there is we shot some. Jason Frank actually it was
Right,
his
Jason Frank- it was
8
an
millimeter
8mm camera.
We shot like this thing where we were. I don't know. It was like I don't know
we
what.
made our eyes bleed.
We had
Remember, we had our eyes.
It was like The Crow, basically.
It
It's
was
like
The Crow.
it was
It
like
was total rip
we
off
had
of
come
The
back
Crow.
from the dead, and we had guns that had lasers, and
That
we're
thing,
in the
yeah.
smoke machine, and we're like, we're gonna shoot something.
Sure, it'll be great.
And so that we never finished it, but it was just like a thing. And then I have a picture of that. I found it, right? I found the picture of this of me and Narvy, and it's like we're all decked out, and I look like Brandon Lee, and we have blood coming out, and I have my gun sticking out. And I found this picture. I sent it to him, and then I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna make it into a movie poster and put it in spades.
So goes by.
A bus goes by and it has that picture, but you can't really tell it's us. But if you're paying close enough attention, that's another thing I did in Arc Exodus. Is there's a bunch of Easter eggs in there.
Yeah.
If you're really looking, you'll find the Black Ranger helmet. You'll find our band logo. You'll find Ichigo was here written in the back side. So you'll see things like that. So
There's
we always
one
plant things.
Easter egg from Skull. Can you guess what it is? The guy's face, right, exactly.
Yeah, so there are some Easter eggs we throw in there, but we make them super hard to find.
Yeah.
You really have to. Some people found some of them. They never find them all. There are some cameos. Yeah. You got some Baku stuff you give out? Yeah. You might not have enough for the room though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, only if you want one. He has some if you want one. If you want a Baku image. Yeah. But anyways, so we're gonna wrap up Spades hopefully soon, and then if you just go, the website right now it's rough. We're about to. Something happened to it.
Something happened to it. We don't know.
It crashed or something, or somebody
And we
tried to hack
rebuilt-
it.
Yeah, something happened.
And
But
we had to quickly put it back up
Yeah,
so they had
it's
the
there,
videos.
Vox Rocket Studio, and it's got links to trailers, but also the full film of Arc Exodus, full film of the Baku, full film of Owl Girl.
Yeah.
All three of those are there, and I think there's a trailer to Spades up at the moment.
I don't know if Spades is on there yet.
Okay,
Is
I
it?
lied. There's no
Okay.
trailer to Spades, but
But it will be eventually. I'm gonna have someone revamp it.
and if you don't know where to find it, you guys can find all three of us on the socials.
Exactly. You can come.
Yeah.
Or you can find Vox Rocket Studio on Instagram. I don't think they respond.
No,
back.
they didn't respond well to that one at all. All right, guys. I guess we'll wrap it up on that. It was a
I
long
think
day.
so. Yeah. Unless you guys have any other questions. No. All right. So if you want to bring the Spades posters, you do have a question. We do have a comic. The first issue is done, and then I want to release 2 issues at the same time because you get a better sense of the story. And so I believe the second issue should be done hopefully by December because I'd like to get it out. If not, it's going to be early next year. But we will have 2 comics to come out. We did a Funko, and we also have a little figure of Spades, but those are very expensive, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to make those yet. So if you end up seeing the movie out there and you can buy it, that would support us, or if you buy the comic, that'll support us to be able to do those other things. We want to turn it into something, It is, yes. It's the same character. It's told a little bit differently because the budget, you can do anything you want. You're not limited by a budget. So we are telling it a little bit differently and more like a comic, do you have a question? For Miraculous? I haven't thought about it, no. But hey, if they ever contact my agent, I'm sure I'd be there. Yeah? That'd be awesome. But yes. Okay, a tengu feather. Dang. What'd you do? Did you go in the construction site and dig around until you found a feather? Oh, nice. Wow. Okay. Well, hey, we really appreciate you guys taking the time. Yeah, if you want to bring those Spades posters to our tables, we'll sign those for free for you. Thank you so much. Oh, and if you want a Baku print, just come up here and Narvy will hand it to you while supplies last.